Laura. Welcome back to my channel. I'm really excited to be reacting for the first time for me. Juntae from In a Minute. Now I haven't reacted to them on my channel, but I've heard like In a Minute, his group. So I'm really excited to be reacting to like his solo. This is Last Letter. This is the official live clip, which I like when they do these kind of things. It looks nice. So let's go ahead and get started. I remember when I listened to In a Minute, I was really impressed with them. Pretty. Ooh, pretty. I can tell he's like really feeling it. I really like the instrumental too. You know me though, I'm a rock girly, so anything that sounds even remotely rock, I'm like, yes. Ooh, that transition change. Very pretty. I wonder where this is filmed at. Oh, he's a very unique voice. Ooh, good use of dynamic there. Ooh. Ooh. I'm curious of how that feels to him. Very pretty. I really like this song. I do have to point out, like, this is me being picky musical Laura right now, okay? The reason that I point certain things out too is because I'm guilty of doing them in my own like music career, and so like when I notice them quite easily. So something I noticed here is there was a lot of air escapage. So what that means is that it's twofold. Can usually be improper breathing technique, which causes you to need to take a lot more breaths more often. it was very airy at times, and you could hear that, especially like towards the end where he was trying to be quieter. Being quiet, you actually, funny enough, you need more air to be quiet than you do to be loud. Just like the way that you're producing sound, because you have to sustain it, and you have to sustain it in a certain, you know, over a period of time to make the sound decrease. Oh, sorry, things are falling around me. But that is something that is that happens to a lot of people. Another thing is escaping, that we're not fully closing, the vocal cords are not fully closing, so air is escaping through them. This is done in for a couple of different reasons. In my case, it was the fact that I wasn't breathing properly. I mean, it had a lot to do with like my vocal production and things like that. So I'm not quite sure. That's why I mentioned a couple of times like how I wondered how that felt for him, because it didn't necessarily sound strained, but it didn't necessarily sound comfortable. So the way that the sound was coming out was very airy. It was very wispy, and a lot of that has to do with your breathing control and your breath production. So I'm really curious as like to how that was feeling, because it sounded not that it sounded bad, because it didn't sound bad. It just sounded like it could possibly be uncomfortable. Maybe like he has to take more breaths more often, and that can make it harder to stay on pitch, to be more in tune more often. So I was just curious about that. Overall, I think he has a really unique tone. It was really interesting. I loved how he used dynamics within the song, because that really helped, especially since this is kind of like I would consider it like a power ballad, like, you know, so using a variety of different vocal techniques is good. So I'm really curious to know more from him. It sounded like there were a couple of times where he was when he hopped up into his head voice, that's where it seemed like when he was going through his transitional break, where it seemed like it was the most uncomfortable for him. So I'm really curious, you know, whenever I listen to idols and whenever I listen to any singer, about how it feels for them, because that's something that you can't always be sure of 100% is how everything is feeling, because sometimes you get so used to doing something that you're actually doing like damage to your vocal cords and you don't even realize it. And I'm guilty as charged, because like just a little bit about my story. When I actually found out that I had needed a tonsillectomy when I was in college, when I had a major role in an opera that I was doing, and I basically had to completely relearn how to sing, because I found out when I went into my ENT that I had like this much room, like this tiny much, to sing through. And so that meant that everything that I was doing was wrong. Even though I had been taught like proper techniques and everything, and I had been working at things and all this kind of stuff, I had to completely relearn everything. So that's why I'm always, and I just thought it was normal. Like I just thought, oh, I can't take as much breath because I have asthma. Oh, this and that. And no, it's actually because I had this huge giant thing in my tonsil. You know, my tonsils were huge. So it's one of those things where I'm like, oh, I wonder how that feels, how it looks. You know, I always mention straining and that kind of thing, you know, veins popping out, that kind of thing. I want more air, more space in the back. So I'm just curious. But overall, song, beautiful, loved it. I love the setting. I loved how this was done. I'm curious of like how they shoot these, like how live this is. As you guys probably know, since you know, if you pay attention in this industry at all, live clips are not always live. They may be partially live, but sometimes they're not. So that's why I'm really curious as like how it's filmed, because you know, obviously you can't hear like anything in like the background or anything like that. So some of that it can be taken at post-production and things like that. So I'm always just curious as like how live is it, you know? And I think I'd be really curious to find out that information. So tell me what you guys thought of the song. Did you love it? Did you hate it? What do you think about In a Minute? And I will see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.